Have you ever noticed how two people can face the same challenge, yet one rises stronger while the other gives up? The difference is rarely luck, talent, or perfect timing. More often, it begins with the thoughts they choose to repeat every day. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it, fear or confidence, doubt or purpose, will eventually grow into the reality you experience. That is why mastering your inner dialogue is one of the most valuable skills you can ever develop. In this speech, you will discover why a few intentional words, repeated with conviction and supported by consistent action, can reshape the way you think, respond, and move through life. This is not about wishing for miracles or expecting success to appear overnight. It is about training your mind to become calm, focused, and resilient so that your actions naturally align with the future you want to create. There is also an important principle you must understand. Not every goal needs an audience. Some of the greatest transformations happen in silence. When you protect your vision instead of seeking constant approval, your energy stays directed toward growth rather than explanation. Quiet confidence is often stronger than loud ambition because it is rooted in discipline instead of validation. As you listen, keep an open mind. Reflect on your own habits, your daily thoughts, and the words you speak to yourself when no one else is around. Those private moments shape your character far more than public appearances ever will. If you are willing to strengthen your mindset, remain patient through challenges, and take meaningful action every day, you will begin to notice a powerful shift, not only in your thinking, but in the direction of your entire life. Let's begin this journey toward building a stronger mind, a quieter confidence, and a life guided by purpose rather than fear. Every great transformation begins long before anyone else can see it. It starts in the quiet moments when you are alone with your thoughts. Long before your circumstances change, your mindset begins to shift. Long before success becomes visible, your inner conversation starts creating a new direction. This is why your words matter far more than most people realize. They are not simply sounds that disappear into the air. They become instructions that your mind follows every single day. Think about the conversations you have with yourself. When something goes wrong, what is your first response? Do you immediately tell yourself that you are unlucky, incapable, or destined to fail? Or do you remind yourself that every challenge carries a lesson, and every setback is an opportunity to become stronger? The answer to this question reveals more about your future than your current situation ever could. Your mind is always listening. It does not wait for an audience. It does not require a microphone. It absorbs every repeated thought and gradually accepts it as truth. If you constantly repeat words of doubt, your confidence begins to shrink. If you repeatedly speak with hope, courage, and determination, your mind slowly adapts to that way of thinking. This process does not happen overnight, but it happens every day, whether you notice it or not. Many people believe that successful individuals are simply born with greater confidence. In reality, confidence is often built through repetition. It is created by choosing empowering thoughts over limiting ones, especially during difficult moments. Every time you refuse to surrender to negative thinking, you strengthen your mental resilience. Every time you replace fear with purpose, you teach your mind that obstacles are temporary rather than permanent. Imagine planting two different seeds in two separate gardens. In one garden, you carefully water the plants, remove the weeds, and provide sunlight every day. In the other, you neglect the soil and allow weeds to grow freely. Months later, the difference is obvious. The same principle applies to your mind. Your thoughts are seeds, your repeated words are the water, your daily habits are the sunlight. Whatever you consistently nourish will eventually become your reality. This is why careless self-talk can quietly damage your potential. Statements such as, "I never succeed, nothing works for me," or "I'm not good enough," may seem harmless when spoken once, but repeated every day, they begin shaping your beliefs. Those beliefs influence your decisions, your relationships, your willingness to take risks, and even your ability to recognize opportunities. Before long, you are not responding to reality. You are responding to the story you have been telling yourself. Fortunately, the opposite is also true. Positive, purposeful words can gradually reshape your perspective. When you remind yourself, "Everything works for me," you are not pretending that life is perfect. You are training your mind to search for solutions instead of surrendering to problems. You begin asking better questions. Instead of saying, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What can this experience teach me?" That simple shift changes your emotional state and influences your next action. Life will always include uncertainty. There will be days when your plans fail, when people misunderstand you, or when progress feels painfully slow. During those moments, your inner dialogue becomes more important than your external circumstances. Anyone can remain optimistic when everything is going well. True mental strength is revealed when you continue speaking to yourself with patience and belief, even while facing challenges. Remember that your words alone are not responsible for creating your future. Words without action are empty. However, words supported by disciplined action become powerful. They help you maintain focus when distractions appear. They remind you why you started when motivation fades. They encourage you to keep moving when results are not yet visible. Your thoughts influence your emotions influence your behavior, and your behavior shapes your future. Another reason to guard your inner dialogue is that the world often reflects the attitude you bring into it. When you expect failure, you hesitate. When you hesitate, opportunities pass by. When opportunities pass by, you conclude that life is unfair. But when you approach each day believing that growth is possible, you become more willing to learn, connect, and persevere. Your expectations begin influencing your experiences in subtle but meaningful ways. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending difficulties do not exist. Wisdom requires honesty. Challenges are real, disappointments are real, and setbacks are real. Yet your response to them is always a choice. You can allow them to define you, or you can allow them to develop you. The words you repeat each day help determine which path you follow. Never underestimate the quiet power of consistency. A single encouraging thought may lift your mood for a moment, but repeated daily, it can reshape your identity. Day after day, your mind becomes more disciplined. Week after week, your confidence grows stronger. Month after month, your actions become more intentional. Eventually, people begin noticing changes in your life, unaware that those changes started with invisible conversations that took place within your own mind. So choose your words carefully. Speak to yourself with honesty, but also with encouragement. Replace self criticism with self improvement. Replace hopelessness with purpose. Replace fear with steady determination. Every morning offers a fresh opportunity to guide your mind in the direction you want your life to follow. The words you whisper to yourself today may seem small, but repeated with belief and supported by consistent action, they become the foundation upon which your future is built. Most people believe that strength comes from speaking louder, proving themselves to everyone, or constantly announcing their plans. But true strength is built in a much quieter place. It grows in the private conversations you have with yourself when no one is watching. Those silent moments shape your character far more than the opinions of other people ever will. Every day, your mind absorbs the words you repeat. Whether they are encouraging or discouraging, your subconscious accepts them as instructions. That is why your private affirmations matter so much. They are not empty phrases meant to impress others. They are daily reminders that train your mind to think with clarity, confidence, and purpose. Imagine planting a seed in the ground. The seed does not immediately become a tree. For weeks, sometimes months, it grows beneath the surface where no one can see it. During that hidden stage, the most important work is taking place. Roots spread deeper into the soil, building the foundation that will eventually support a strong trunk and wide branches. If someone judged the seed too early, they would assume nothing was happening. But nature understands that visible growth is only possible after invisible growth has been completed. Your personal growth follows the same principle. Before your confidence becomes visible, it must first become deeply rooted within you. Before your habits change your life, they must quietly change your mindset. Every time you repeat words of encouragement to yourself, you are strengthening those unseen roots. You are preparing yourself for challenges before they arrive. One of the greatest mistakes people make is sharing every dream before it has had a chance to mature. Excitement often leads us to announce our goals to friends, relatives, or even strangers. We hope they will encourage us, celebrate with us, and believe in us. Sometimes they do. But many times, they respond with doubt, criticism, or disbelief. Their words may not come from cruelty. They may simply reflect their own fears and limitations. Still, if your confidence is fragile, those opinions can become heavy burdens. That is why it is wise to protect your inner work. Keep your affirmations private. Keep your deepest vision close to your heart. This is not about being secretive because you fear others. It is about creating a peaceful space where your belief can grow without constant interruption. Just as a flame is easiest to extinguish when it is small, your confidence is most vulnerable in its early stages. Guard it until it becomes strong enough to withstand the winds of doubt. Each morning offers a new opportunity to strengthen that confidence. Before checking your phone, before reading messages, before listening to the noise of the world, take a quiet moment for yourself. Stand still, take a slow breath, repeat your chosen words with sincerity. Do not rush through them as if they were a task to complete. Speak them with awareness. Let each word settle into your mind. Feel what those words represent. They are not magic spells. They are reminders of the person you are choosing to become. Throughout the day, life will test your mindset. You may experience disappointment, criticism, unexpected delays, or moments of uncertainty. These situations are unavoidable. What matters is how you respond. Instead of allowing frustration to control your thoughts, return to your private affirmation. Let it interrupt the cycle of negativity before it gains momentum. A calm mind makes wiser decisions than a reactive one. The more consistently you redirect your thoughts, the stronger your mental discipline becomes. There is another reason to keep your affirmations private. Speaking less often creates greater focus. Many people waste valuable energy explaining what they are going to do instead of actually doing it. They seek approval before taking action. But approval is temporary. Discipline lasts much longer. When your attention is focused on consistent improvement rather than external recognition, progress becomes more natural. You stop measuring your worth by applause and begin measuring it by the promises you keep to yourself. This quiet confidence changes the way you carry yourself. You no longer feel the need to win every argument or prove your value to every person you meet. You understand that genuine strength does not demand attention. It reveals itself through patience, humility, and steady action. Others may not immediately notice the transformation taking place within you, and that is perfectly fine. Real growth does not require an audience. In time, the results will speak more clearly than any announcement ever could. Remember that your mind is always listening. Every complaint reinforces helplessness. Every hopeful thought reinforces possibility. Every private affirmation strengthens your ability to face life's challenges with courage instead of fear. This is why protecting your inner dialogue is one of the most valuable investments you can make. You are shaping the lens through which you see every opportunity, every obstacle, and every decision. Never underestimate the power of quiet consistency. Great transformations rarely happen because of one dramatic moment. They happen because ordinary actions are repeated with extraordinary commitment. A few moments of intentional reflection each day may seem small, but over weeks, months, and years, those moments reshape your habits, your character, and your future. The strongest people are not those who never struggle. They are the ones who quietly train their minds every day until resilience becomes their natural way of living. So keep your affirmations close. Let them become part of your daily routine rather than a performance for others. Protect your vision, strengthen your mindset, and continue moving forward with patience. One day, people may ask what changed in your life. They will see your confidence, your calmness, and your progress. They may think success appeared overnight, but you will know the truth. It was built in silence, one thought at a time, one disciplined day after another, until the private words you faithfully repeated became the public reality everyone could finally see. Most people believe that success begins with action alone, but action without direction often leads to frustration. Before your hands can build something meaningful, your mind must first believe it is possible. This is why belief, emotion, and consistent action are inseparable. Together, they create the foundation for lasting personal transformation. Remove one of these elements, and progress becomes unstable. Strengthen all three, and your life begins to move with greater clarity and purpose. Belief is not blind optimism. It is a decision to trust that your efforts have value, even when immediate results are invisible. Think about a gardener planting seeds. The gardener does not dig them up every morning to check if they are growing. Instead, they water the soil, protect it, and patiently allow nature to do its work. Your goals require the same level of patience. Every positive habit you practice is like watering an unseen seed. At first, nothing appears to change, but beneath the surface, your character is developing stronger roots. Many people give up too early because they mistake silence for failure. They expect instant rewards, instant recognition, and instant success. When those rewards do not appear quickly, doubt enters their minds. They begin questioning themselves, their abilities, and even their dreams. Yet, almost every meaningful achievement follows the same pattern: long periods of quiet effort followed by visible results. The world notices the outcome, but it rarely sees the discipline that made it possible. Emotion gives energy to belief. Words repeated without feeling become empty sounds, but words spoken with genuine conviction influence the way you think and behave. When you quietly remind yourself, everything works for me, do not repeat it mechanically. Pause for a moment and allow yourself to experience calm confidence. Imagine yourself responding to challenges with patience instead of panic. Picture yourself making wise decisions instead of impulsive ones. Feel the quiet certainty that every experience, whether pleasant or difficult, can teach you something valuable. Your emotions act like a compass. If you constantly feed yourself fear, your mind will search for danger in every situation. If you nourish your thoughts with confidence and purpose, your attention naturally shifts toward opportunities, solutions, and growth. This does not mean ignoring problems or pretending difficulties do not exist. It means refusing to let fear become the loudest voice in your life. However, belief and emotion alone are never enough. They must be supported by action. Imagine someone standing at the bottom of a mountain repeating positive words every day, but never taking a single step upward. The words may inspire them for a moment, but the mountain remains unclimbed. Progress begins when encouragement is followed by movement. Even the smallest step forward is more powerful than endless preparation without action. Every action sends a message to your mind. When you exercise despite feeling tired, you teach yourself discipline. When you study even after making mistakes, you strengthen resilience. When you continue working toward your goals despite temporary setbacks, you prove to yourself that your commitment is stronger than your excuses. Confidence grows from evidence, and every disciplined action becomes evidence that you are becoming someone capable of greater achievements. There will be days when motivation disappears. This happens to everyone. Waiting for inspiration before taking action is one of the biggest obstacles to success. Instead, let discipline guide you when emotions fluctuate. Motivation may encourage you to begin, but discipline ensures you continue. The people who accomplish extraordinary things are rarely the ones who feel motivated every day. They are the ones who continue, even when they would rather stop. Another important lesson is to avoid measuring your progress against someone else's timeline. Comparison steals energy that should be invested in your own growth. Every person begins from a different place, carries different experiences, and faces different challenges. Looking constantly at another person's journey distracts you from improving your own. The only comparison that truly matters is between the person you were yesterday and the person you are becoming today. Remember that setbacks are not evidence that your vision has failed. They are opportunities to refine your approach. Every challenge reveals something that still needs strengthening, whether it is your patience, your knowledge, your emotional control, or your determination. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Begin asking, what is this experience teaching me? That single shift in perspective transforms obstacles into lessons and failures into preparation. The four words, everything works for me, become especially powerful during difficult moments. They remind you that every experience carries the potential for growth if you are willing to learn from it. Sometimes a closed door redirects you toward a better opportunity. Sometimes a disappointment builds the resilience needed for future success. Sometimes the greatest blessing comes disguised as a challenge that forces you to become stronger than you ever imagined. Never underestimate the power of small, consistent actions. Reading a few pages each day, practicing a skill for 30 minutes, exercising regularly, saving a little money, speaking kindly to yourself, or choosing patience instead of anger may seem insignificant in the moment. Yet these small decisions accumulate over weeks, months, and years until they create remarkable change. Great achievements are rarely the result of one dramatic event. They are usually the product of ordinary actions, repeated with extraordinary consistency. As you move forward, remember this simple principle: believe deeply, feel genuinely, and act consistently. Let your beliefs strengthen your courage. Let your emotions fuel your determination. And let your daily actions prove your commitment. Do not wait for perfect conditions or complete certainty. Begin where you are, use what you have, and improve a little every day. Over time, your mindset will become stronger, your habits will become wiser, and your life will reflect the quiet power of persistent effort. When belief, emotion, and disciplined action work together, You stop merely hoping for a better future. You begin creating it, one intentional step at a time. There is a quiet kind of strength that very few people understand. It is the strength to keep your dreams to yourself while you work on them every single day. In a world where everyone feels pressured to announce every goal, every plan, and every small achievement, choosing silence has become a rare form of wisdom. Not everything that matters needs to be shared. Some visions grow stronger when they are protected instead of displayed. Think about how nature works. A seed is placed deep beneath the soil, hidden from the eyes of the world. For weeks, sometimes months, nothing appears to be happening. Yet beneath the surface, roots are growing stronger every day. The seed does not complain because no one notices it. It does not rush to prove that it is becoming a tree. It simply continues growing until one day its strength can no longer remain hidden. Your goals deserve the same patience. Before your success becomes visible, your character must develop unseen. Many people lose momentum because they seek applause too early. The moment they decide to change their lives, they announce it to everyone around them. They tell friends about the business they are going to build, the body they are going to transform, or the dreams they are finally going to pursue. For a brief moment, the encouragement they receive feels satisfying. But sometimes that early praise creates an illusion of progress. Talking about the journey can feel rewarding enough that the urgency to actually walk the path begins to fade. Real progress comes from consistent action, not from public declarations. There is another reason to protect your vision. Not everyone will understand your purpose, and that is perfectly normal. Every person sees the world through the lens of their own experiences, fears, and limitations. Someone who has never taken a risk may tell you that your dream is impossible. Someone who gave up on their own goals may unintentionally discourage you from pursuing yours. Their opinions often reveal more about their own beliefs than about your potential. If your confidence depends on the approval of others, it will rise and fall with every opinion you hear. But when your confidence is built on quiet commitment, outside voices lose their power. Keeping your vision private does not mean isolating yourself or refusing wise advice. It means becoming selective about whose opinions you allow into your mind. Learn from people who have earned your respect, who challenge you to grow, and who genuinely want the best for you. At the same time, do not feel obligated to explain your purpose to those who constantly question, criticize, or doubt your direction. Your energy is limited. Spend it building your future instead of defending it. Silence also teaches patience, one of the most valuable qualities anyone can develop. We often want immediate recognition for our efforts, but meaningful success rarely happens overnight. Every worthwhile achievement requires time, discipline, and countless small improvements that nobody sees. The musician practices thousands of notes before performing on stage. The athlete trains through exhausting mornings before winning a competition. The entrepreneur faces countless setbacks before building a successful business. The world usually notices the final result, but it rarely witnesses the years of quiet preparation that made it possible. When you embrace silent progress, you stop comparing your timeline with everyone else's. Social media can make it seem as though everyone else is succeeding faster, achieving more, and living better lives. But appearances rarely reveal the full story. Comparison steals attention from your own growth. Instead of measuring your progress against another person's highlight reel, measure it against who you were yesterday. Even small improvements, repeated consistently, create remarkable change over time. Another benefit of protecting your vision is that it strengthens self-discipline. When no one is watching, your habits reveal your true character. It is easy to stay motivated after receiving praise. It is much harder to remain committed when your efforts go unnoticed. Yet those quiet moments are where real transformation happens. Every early morning you choose discipline over comfort. Every evening you spend learning instead of wasting time. And every challenge you face without giving up becomes another brick in the foundation of your future. Remember that confidence does not come from talking about what you will do. Confidence grows from proving to yourself, day after day, that you can keep the promises you make to yourself. Each completed task, each healthy decision, and each act of perseverance quietly strengthens your belief in your own abilities. Eventually, you no longer need constant reassurance because your actions have become your evidence. There will be moments when you feel tempted to reveal everything. You may want others to recognize your effort or validate your direction. In those moments, remind yourself that your greatest responsibility is not to impress people, It is to become the person your goals require you to be. Recognition will come naturally when your work speaks louder than your words. Imagine how different your life would become if you spent less time explaining your ambitions and more time living them. Instead of announcing every plan, you would quietly build the skills required to achieve it. Instead of arguing with people who doubt you, you would allow your results to answer every question. Instead of seeking approval, you would focus on becoming stronger, wiser, and more disciplined every single day. One day, people may look at your success and call it luck. They may assume everything happened quickly or effortlessly. They will not see the countless mornings you chose discipline over excuses, the evenings you kept learning while others wasted time, or the silent battles you fought within your own mind. They will only see the tree standing tall, not the years it spent growing unseen beneath the ground. Protect your vision with patience. Guard your focus with discipline. Let your habits become stronger than your desire for recognition. The less energy you spend proving yourself to others, the more energy you will have to improve yourself. And when the time is right, you will not need to announce your transformation. Your character, your confidence, and your accomplishments will speak so clearly that words will no longer be necessary. There is a silent battle taking place inside every human mind. It is not a battle that anyone else can see, yet it influences every decision you make, every opportunity you pursue, and every dream you either build or abandon. On one side stands doubt, whispering that you are not ready, not capable, or not worthy. On the other side stands purpose, quietly reminding you that every great achievement begins with a single decision to keep moving forward. The outcome of this battle depends on which voice you choose to strengthen each day. Most people believe confidence appears first and action comes later. In reality, it works the other way around. Confidence is the reward for repeatedly doing what is difficult. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, you strengthen your trust in your own abilities. Every time you choose discipline over excuses, your mind learns that you are someone who follows through. This is how lasting confidence is built, not through compliments from others, but through consistent evidence that you can rely on yourself. Your mind listens carefully to the words you repeat every day. If you constantly say, I always fail, your brain begins searching for proof that this statement is true. If you tell yourself, nothing ever works for me, you unconsciously stop noticing opportunities because your attention becomes fixed on disappointment. Your thoughts influence what you pay attention to, and what you pay attention to influences the choices you make. This is why you must become the guardian of your own thinking. You cannot control every event that happens around you, but you can influence how you interpret those events. A setback does not have to become a permanent identity. A mistake does not define your future unless you decide it does. Every successful person has experienced failure, uncertainty, and criticism. The difference is that they refuse to allow temporary obstacles to become permanent beliefs. Imagine carrying a backpack filled with heavy stones. Each stone represents an old fear, a painful memory, or a limiting belief. At first, you may not notice how much the weight slows you down because you have carried it for so long. But every time you replace a negative thought with a purposeful one, it is like removing one stone from that backpack. The journey does not become effortless overnight, but it becomes lighter. Eventually, you realize you are walking farther, with less struggle, simply because you stopped carrying unnecessary mental weight. Discipline begins in moments that seem ordinary. It begins when you wake up and choose to start your day with intention instead of distraction. It begins when you continue working after your motivation fades. It begins when you resist comparing your progress to someone else's journey. These small choices may appear insignificant, yet they shape your character more than dramatic moments ever will. Character is not built in comfort. It is built in the repeated decision to do what is right even when no one is watching. One of the greatest distractions in modern life is comparison. Every day, people measure their beginning against someone else's middle or even their ending. They look at another person's success and assume it happened quickly, forgetting the years of invisible effort that came before it. Comparison steals gratitude, weakens focus, and creates unnecessary frustration. Instead of asking why someone else is ahead, ask yourself whether you are improving compared to the person you were yesterday. That is the comparison that truly matters. Purpose grows stronger when you stop seeking constant approval. Many people hesitate to pursue meaningful goals because they fear criticism. They wait for everyone to agree before taking the first step. But if you depend on approval to begin, you will always be controlled by the opinions of others. The people who create meaningful change understand that not everyone will understand their vision, and that is perfectly acceptable. They remain committed because their purpose is greater than the discomfort of being misunderstood. Whenever doubt enters your mind, do not argue with it endlessly. Instead, answer it with action. If your mind says you cannot learn a new skill, spend 30 minutes practicing. If it says you are too weak, complete one more repetition than you planned. If it says success belongs to someone else, take one step toward your own goal. Action is the strongest response to fear because it replaces imagination with experience. Every small victory gives your mind new evidence that growth is possible. Remember that discipline is not about becoming harsh with yourself. It is about becoming dependable. Treat yourself with honesty, patience, and consistency. There will be days when progress feels slow, when mistakes happen, and when your energy is lower than usual. Those moments do not erase your progress unless you decide to quit. Simply return to your routine, learn from what happened, and continue moving forward. Consistency always matters more than perfection. Your future is quietly shaped by the habits you repeat when no one is watching. Every encouraging word you speak to yourself, every intentional choice you make, and every disciplined action you complete becomes another brick in the foundation of the life you are building. Over time, those bricks become something strong enough to withstand challenges, criticism, and uncertainty. So choose your thoughts with care. Feed your mind with purpose instead of fear. Replace excuses with responsibility, comparison with gratitude, and hesitation with action. The world around you may not change overnight, but the person within you certainly can. And once your mind becomes disciplined, focused, and guided by purpose, you will discover that the greatest transformation was never waiting somewhere outside of you. It was patiently waiting for you to take control of the conversation happening within. Most people spend their lives searching for one extraordinary secret that will completely transform everything. They believe that somewhere there is a hidden formula, a lucky opportunity, or a mysterious shortcut that will suddenly change their future. But lasting transformation rarely begins with dramatic events. It begins with the smallest habits repeated every single day. A single thought, spoken consistently, can become a belief. A belief can become a decision. A decision can become a habit. And a habit, repeated long enough, becomes your character. That is why the words you repeat to yourself matter far more than you may realize. The four words, everything works for me, are not magical words that cause the universe to instantly grant every desire. Their real power lies in how they train your mind. They gently shift your attention away from fear and toward possibility. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? You begin asking, what can I learn from this? Instead of seeing every obstacle as proof that you should quit, you begin viewing it as part of your education. This simple change in perspective influences your emotions, your choices, and ultimately your results. Think about how often people unknowingly repeat negative statements. They say, I always fail, nothing ever goes right, I'm not good enough, life is unfair. Even if they say these words casually, the mind hears them repeatedly. Over time, these statements become accepted as truth. The brain begins searching for evidence that confirms these beliefs. It notices every mistake while ignoring every success. This creates a cycle where negative expectations lead to negative actions, and negative actions produce disappointing outcomes. Now imagine replacing those destructive patterns with a healthier one. Every morning before checking your phone, before listening to the opinions of the world, stand quietly for a moment and say, everything works for me. Say it slowly. Say it with calmness. You do not need to shout. You do not need to convince anyone else. You are training your own mind. You are reminding yourself that every experience, whether pleasant or difficult, can serve your growth if you choose to learn from it. As you continue this practice, you may notice subtle changes. When unexpected problems appear, you panic less. When someone criticizes you, you recover more quickly. When opportunities arise, you feel more willing to take action because your mind has become accustomed to expecting progress instead of failure. These changes may seem small at first, but they accumulate over weeks and months. Quiet consistency often creates the greatest transformation. However, repeating these words without action is like planting seeds without watering them. Words prepare your mindset, but actions build your future. If you truly believe that everything works for you, then your daily behavior should reflect that belief. You wake up with purpose. You honor your commitments. You continue learning even when results are slow. You treat setbacks as lessons instead of excuses. Every action becomes evidence that your words are shaping the person you are becoming. There is another reason these words should remain private. Many people share their dreams before they have developed the discipline to pursue them. They seek approval, encouragement, or admiration. But when others respond with doubt, criticism, or laughter, their confidence begins to weaken. A vision that has not yet taken root is fragile. It deserves protection. Just as a gardener shields a young plant from harsh conditions, you should protect your developing mindset from unnecessary negativity. Silence is not secrecy born from fear. Silence is wisdom. It allows your energy to remain focused on growth instead of explanation. You do not need to announce every personal breakthrough. You do not need to convince people that you are changing. Let your consistency speak for you. Let your habits become your introduction. Let your results become your explanation. There will also be days when these four words feel difficult to believe. Life will test your patience. Plans will fail. People will disappoint you. Progress may seem invisible. Those are the moments when this practice matters most. Anyone can speak positively when life feels easy. Real mental strength is developed when you choose constructive thoughts in the middle of uncertainty. Saying everything works for me during difficult seasons does not mean denying reality. It means refusing to let temporary circumstances define your identity or determine your future. Remember that every meaningful achievement requires time. A tree does not grow overnight. A skilled musician does not master an instrument in a week. A disciplined mind is not built in a single morning. Growth is gradual. It is shaped by thousands of small choices that often go unnoticed. Each time you repeat these four words, and then act with patience, courage, and discipline, you strengthen the person you are becoming. One day, you will look back and realize that your greatest transformation did not begin with a major event. It began with a quiet decision to guard your thoughts, believe in your potential, and take consistent action even when no one was watching. Your confidence became stronger because it was built privately. Your discipline became unshakable because it was practiced daily. Your success became meaningful because it was earned through persistence rather than shortcuts. So keep these four words close to your heart. Repeat them every morning. Repeat them before important decisions. Repeat them whenever doubt tries to take control. Then prove them through your actions. Continue learning, continue improving, continue serving, and continue moving forward with humility. Over time, you will discover that the greatest manifestation is not simply achieving your goals. It is becoming the kind of person who has the wisdom, resilience, and character to create a meaningful life, no matter what challenges appear along the way.